Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss the lesson 5 which is training. But before that, let me first introduce myself. Hello, I am Justine B. De Guzman from Bachelor of Science in Business Administration major in Human Resource Management, 1 4N. What is training? Training can help employees develop skills needed to perform their jobs, which directly affects the business. It is also the process of learning that can apply your skills in your job, an opportunity to learn and create a positive work environment. According to Edwin B. Flippo, training is the act of increasing the knowledge and skills of an employee for doing a particular job. For example, as a students, do we consider this college life as our training ground in our near future or in our future job? Why training is important or why do we need training? There are 6 key features why training is important. First, it increases employees' knowledge in terms of foreign competitors and cultures for success in foreign markets and to be globally competitive. Second, help ensure that employees have the basic skills to work with new technologies. Of course, we are in the electronic era. We need to learn the different technologies such as robots and computer-assisted manufacturing processes. Third is help employees to understand the work effectively in terms of contributing to product and services quality in company. Fourth is company's culture emphasizes innovation, creativity, and learning to continue the competitiveness of the company. Fifth is employment security by providing new ways for employees to contribute to the company when their jobs or interests change or their skills become obsolete or fading. And lastly is employees to accept and work more effectively with each other. What is the meaning of this? It is all about the professionalism on how people or the employers more effectively working with each other, particularly with minorities and women. The topic one talks about the designing effective formal training activities. The key characteristic of training activities to be competitive is the instructional design process. The training design process is a systematic approach for developing training programs. There are 2 types of training design processes. First is instructional system design or the ISD. It is the systematic process for the assessment and development or training solution. The purpose of this is to deliver the formal training. Second is the ADDIE model, analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. It relies on each stage being done in the given order, reflection and iteration or repetition are included. This is an example of instructional design process. It has 6 processes in order to get a good feedback. We are going to discuss it in the next few slides. Needs assessment. It is the first step or the first level in the instructional design processes. Needs assessment refers to the process used to determine if training is necessary. Of course, before we undergo to something, for example, problems, we need to assess to ourselves on what action we need to do in order to solve it. Just like in any other companies, they need to assess if they need to conduct a training because it is an investment to grow their employees and also the company. This is the pressure points or the reason why training is necessary. As you can see on the left side, these are the reasons or the pressure points, while on the right side are the outcomes, and then in the middle is the organization analysis, task analysis, and the person analysis. There are 3 analyses under needs assessment. First is organizational analysis, second is person analysis, and third is task analysis. The organizational analysis, it determines the appropriateness of training conducted by the company, while the person analysis, it helps to identify who needs training. Task analysis, it identifies the important tasks and knowledge, skills, and behaviors. There are 3 factors that we need to consider in organizational analysis: the support of managers and peers, the company strategy, and the training resources available. The support of managers and peers. Various studies have found that peer and manager support for training is critical. The key factors to success are a positive attitude among peers and managers. Why? Because when the trainee receives a compliment or they recognize them, they will strive more to continue their work. When the support was there, the relationship between the employer and the employee will be good and comfortable. Their willingness to help their employees to learn or gain knowledge and have an opportunity to use in training content in their jobs. Second is company strategy. It is important to identify the prevailing business strategy and goals to ensure that the company allocates of its budget training, that employees receive training on relevant topics, and that employees get the right amount of training. Because in their strategies, we will see if there will be a progress or it will continue to run a company in a long-term success. This is a table that shows the strategic initiatives and their implications. As you can see on the left side are the examples of strategies and on the right side are the implications. For example, this is to improve customer service. When we improve the customer service, we will ensure that the employees have a skills needed to interact with the customers. As we all know, customer service um, contains or give a service that will that such as concerns or their such as concern ensure that employees understand their roles and decision making authority. When the employees was there, the decision making skills will be enhanced. The training resources, it is necessary to identify whether the company has the budget, time, and expertise for employees for training. Why? Because it will serve as your resources or materials that you will be needed to use for training. If the company does not have all of this, they cannot conduct the training because of insufficient resources. The table 7.2 provides examples of questions to ask vendors and consultants to help evaluate whether they can meet the company's training needs. These are the questions that they might be needed or they might be asked in the vendors and consultants. Second is person analysis. It helps the manager to identify whether training is appropriate and which employees need training. In certain situations, such as the introduction of new technologies or service, all employees may need to undergo training. Task analysis identifies the condition in which tasks are performed, include identifying equipment and the environment the employee works in, time constraints or deadlines, safety consideration or performance standards. Now, what is the difference between job and a task? A job is a specific position requiring the completion of specific tasks, while task is a statement of an employee's work activity in a specific job. Ensuring employees' readiness for training. This is the second step or the second level in the training design process. It is to evaluate whether employees are ready for training. How sure you are as a manager that your employees are ready to undergo training. The readiness for training refers to employees' characteristic that provides employees with the desired energy and focus necessary to learn from training. The desire of the trainee to learn is referred as motivation to learn. Mm. The next is creating a learning environment. For employees to acquire knowledge and skills in the training program and apply this information in their job, the training program must include specific learning principles. Example of these are the educational and educational and industrial psychologists and design specialists. They identified several conditions under which employees learn best. Ensuring transfer of training. It refers to on-the-job use of knowledge, skills, and behavior learned in training. This is the fourth level. This is the fourth level in instructional design process. It is the application that the trainee must use it on the job and it will serve as a training ground in the company. There are 5 impacts of ensuring transfer of training. First is manager support. There are 2 degrees to which manager support. emphasize the importance of attending training programs, stress the application of training content to the job. This is the table 7.7. It shows on how manager can support training. Action plan. It is a written document that includes the steps that the trainee and manager will take to ensure that training transfer to the job. When the manager and trainee agree to meet to discuss the progress being made in using learned capabilities on the job. There are four important things in action plan. First is a goal identifying. It is the time that we need to ask what training content will be used and how it will be used. It is contained a project and a problem. Second is a strategy for reaching the goal. It includes the resources that we will be needed. Third is strategies for getting feedback. It will show such as meeting with the manager. Fourth is expected outcome. What will be the different or what will be the different among all? Peer support, creating a support network among the trainees. This is the time that we need to establish a good relationship to others. It might be face-to-face meetings or communication via email, Twitter, or other social networking tools. We can also share some experiences, some successful experiences, and discuss how they obtained resources needed to use training content or how they cope up in a work environment. Opportunity to use learned capabilities. It refers to the extent to which the trainee is provided with or actively seeks experience with newly learned knowledge, skills, and behaviors from the training program. Opportunity to use capabilities, or it will be called as opportunity to perform. Technological support or performance support and knowledge management system. There are two. Performance support system or computer application that can provide as requested skills, training, information access, and expert advice. Well, the management system often include communities of practice. What is communities of practice? It is the groups of employees who work together, learn from each other, and develop a common understanding of how to get work. In layman's term, it is a brainstorming. Self-management skill. Training program should prepare employees to self-manage their use of new skills and behaviors on the job. For example, training should set goals for using skills or behavior on the job. Trainees need also to understand that it is natural to feel the difficulty in trying to use skills on the job. If you are willing to continue to learn and gain a knowledge, you must have the patience in order to not give up easily. Selecting training methods. Selecting training methods. It is the fifth level in instructional design process. A number of different methods can help employees acquire new knowledge, skills, and behavior. This is the figure 7.5, provides an overview of the use of training methods across all size companies. As you can see, the highest percentage is instructor-led classroom, which is 45%. Next is blended learning, 29%, online or computer-based, 28%, virtual classroom, 15%, and the 1% goes to mobile. This figure will be elaborated or will be discussed by Mr. Giancarlo De Luna, the next reporter. Let's review the instructional design process. First step is needs assessment. Second, ensuring employees' readiness for training. Third, creating a learning environment. Fourth, ensuring transfer of training. Fifth step is selecting training method. Sixth step, evaluating training programs.
A pleasant day to each and everyone. My name is Giancarlo De Luna, and this is the continuation of Lesson 5 training. In presentation methods, when we undergo an orientation of the training, we should be open for new knowledge and learn as many things as possible. Presentation methods includes traditional classroom instruction, distance learning, and audiovisual training. There are four basic methods, also known as styles of presenting a speech, so such as manuscript, memorized, extemporaneous, and impromptu. Each of them has specific uses in various forms of communication. So, instructor-led classroom instruction. Classroom instruction typically involves having the trainer lecture a group. In many cases, the lecture is supplemented with question and answer periods, discussion, or case studies. Like for example, when we are in classroom, even it is virtual, after the discussion of our teacher, there is a question and answer to examine if the student learned the lesson efficiently and effectively. Classroom learnings help the learner and the instructor to know each other in a better manner. This allows trainers to know the learners and evaluate their strengths and weaknesses, act as mentor, present information on a specific topic to many trainees, and most importantly, guide them to in every step they take towards their chosen journey. Distance learning is an alternative way to pass important information to other people and to continue the process of learning. Distance learning has two-way communication between people. The first one is teleconferencing. It refers to synchronous exchange of audio, video, or text between two or more individuals or group at two or more locations. The use of telecommunication device to hold discussion between participants in other locations. There are advantages and disadvantages of distance learning. The advantages is the continuous process of learning, while the disadvantages is we cannot control the quality of education and its effectiveness. That's why establishing a communication link between employees and other trainer is essential. Also, on-site instructor or facilitator should be available to answer questions and manage a moderate question and answer session if needed. Second is virtual classroom. In this type of communication, we use personal computer. Employee can participate in training anywhere when they have access to computer and internet. This also includes webcasting. We can define it as the practice of broadcasting video or audio feeds over the internet. So next is audiovisual training. Includes overhead slides and video. It has been used for improving communication skills, interviewing skills, and customer service skills, and for illustrating how procedures such as welding should be followed. For an instance, as a student, we use PowerPoint to present our report. In addition, in service skills like welding, there is a process on how to use welding machine, and with the help of audiovisual, the information will be presented more realistic. So next, hands-on methods are training methods that require the trainee to be actively involved in learning. Hands-on methods include on-the-job training, simulation, business games, and case studies, behavior modeling, interactive video, and web-based training. So meaning from its own words, hands-on, you will assure that the training is very efficient to the trainee. On-the-job training is an important topic of human resource management. It helps develop the career of an individual and the prosperous growth of the organization. This is a form of training provided at the workplace. Let's proceed to apprenticeship. It's a kind of job training that involves following and studying a master of the trade on the job instead of in school. So one of the example of this is my father. My father is is technician, but before that he undergo the training. So the disadvantages of it, after they completed the program, there is no guarantee that the job is still available, and the employers may not hire because they believe apprentices are narrowly trained in one occupation or with one company, and program graduates may have only company specific skills and may be unable to acquire new skills. So next, an internship is a period of work experience offered by an employer to give students and graduates exposure to the working environment, often within a specific industry which relates to their field of study. Internship can be as short as a week or as long as 12 months. And the purpose of simulation is to shed light on the underlying mechanism that control the behavior of a system. More practically, simulation can be used to predict, forecast the future behavior of a system and determine what you can do to influence that future behavior. So we will use an in real life situation on how we will react. So next is the avatars. It refers to computer depictions of humans that are being used as imaginary coaches coworkers, and customers in simulation. Typically, trainees see the avatars who appears throughout the training course. So, avatars is also known as a profile picture of user. Pic is a graphically representation of user or the user's character or persona. A way to enhance simulation is the virtual reality. So, virtual reality meaning the digital simulation of lifelike scenarios for training purposes. Using the headset controllers, trainees look and speak and move about freely in a 3D virtual setting. So, business games and case studies. Situation that trainees study and discuss case studies and business games in which trainees must gather information, analyze it, and make decisions are used primarily for management and skill development. So, meaning business games and case studies. So, the case study is a method which provides descriptive situation which stimulates trainees to make decisions. As a training tool and case study method can be used to develop decision-making skills, interpersonal skills, and strengthen and analytical skills of trainees. Next is the behavior modeling. So, research suggests that behavior modeling is one of the most effective techniques for teaching interpersonal skills. Each training session, which typically lasts for 4 hours, focuses on one interpersonal skill such as coaching or communicating ideas. When a person observes the behavior of another, then imitates that action, he or she is modeling the behavior. For example, a mother wants to teach her daughter to cook. Then she told her daughter to watch her cooking and to take note what she's doing. Afterwards, the daughter should do what she have learned. Next is the e-learning, computer-based training or CBT. Online learning and web-based training refers to the instruction and delivery of training by computer through the internet or the web. Online learning, e-learning, and web-based training all include delivery of instruction using the internet or web. The training program can be accessed using a password through the public internet or the company's private internet. So this is a learning utilizing electronic technologies to access educational curriculum outside of traditional classroom. We define e-learning as courses that we are specially delivered via the internet to somewhere other than the physical classroom where the professor is teaching. One of the examples are the asynchronous and synchronous online learning. So, reversing refers to directly translating an instructor-led face-to-face training program online. So, MOCs provide an affordable and flexible way to learn, use skills, advance your career, and deliver quality educational experience at scale. They offer students a way to learn in a setting similar to an online class, but are usually loosely structured and can be accessed without paying tuition or committing to an academic program. We all know that the social media is an online platform used to keep in touch with friends and extended family. Some people will use various social media applications to network career opportunities, find people across the globe with like interests, and share their thoughts, feelings, insight, and emotions. Blended learning is any education strategy that features both digital and traditional teaching methods to help students learn. Most often, blended learning incorporates tried and true teaching methods like lecture, with the latest in classroom technology like digital curriculum. Learning Management System or LSM is online system or software which is used to plan, execute, and access a specific learning process. In simple words, software used in e-learning program and which helps in administration, documentation, tracking, and recording. So team building encouraging employees to value communication and teamwork have improved work relationship and the quality of work. Team building activities are designed to develop stronger communication and collaboration which help teams become more effective and efficient. So next is experiential programs are training programs in which trainee gain knowledge and theory, participate in behavioral simulation, analyze the activity, and connect the theory and activity with on the job situation. So experimental program is the process of learning through experience and is more specifically defined as learning through reflection on doing, like on the job training. And then adventure learning is a type of experiential program develops teamwork and leadership skills using structured outdoor activities. So adventure learning appears to best suit for developing skills related to group and effectiveness such as self-awareness, problem solving, conflict management, and risk-taking. So adventure learning is an approach to instructional design that actively engages students in authentic, mentally, and physically challenging tasks. Students may be asked to participate in rock climbing, zip lining, ropes courses, or other activities that require some degree of developmentally appropriate risk-taking. So, team training is to increase individual procedural knowledge and proficiency in doing a task. It will focus on the main goal of the group. While the team building, they build a relationship to have a good connection and then to know each other of the group. Team training strategies includes cross-training and coordinating training. So, cross-training is team members understand and practice each other's skills. Then, coordinating training trains the team in how to share information and decision. Next is the team leader training. It refers to training the team manager or facilitator. This may involve training the manager how to resolve conflict within the team or help the team coordinate activities or other team skills. So, leadership is one of the most important thing in the groups, the process which helps expand the capacity of individual to perform a leadership roles within organization. So, action learning is a process that involves small group working on a real problems, taking action, and learning as individual or as a team and as an organization. It helps organization develop creative, flexible, and successful strategies to pressing problems. Let's proceed to topic 2, advice for choosing training methods. The first step in choosing method is to identify the type of learning outcomes that you want training to influence. So the outcomes of it includes verbal information, intellectual skills, cognitive strategies, attitudes, motor skills, or some combination. Training may influence one or several learning outcomes. Second is comparing the presentation methods to hands-on methods. So we need to know the process of training illustrate that most hands-on methods. So it provide also a better learning environment than to presentation method. Then the last but important consideration is the training budget. If you have limited budget for training to develop your training, we can use structured on-the-job training, one of the most effective and inexpensive. But if you have a larger amount, you might to consider the hands-on methods that facilitate transfer of training like simulators. Next, for evaluating training programs, it can provide useful information including the strengths and weaknesses of program. So in this, we need to identify which the learners benefited most and least for participating and also determine the program's financial benefits and costs. So in examining the outcomes of a program, it helps in evaluating its effectiveness. So the outcome should be related to the objective of the program for which the trainees understand the purpose of the program. Next is training outcomes can be categorized such as cognitive outcomes, skill-based outcomes, effective outcomes, result, and return on investment. Meaning are statements that specify what students will know, able to do, or able to demonstrate when they have completed or participate in course or program. So in the table, there are different outcomes. First is cognitive outcomes, measure the acquisition of knowledge or the process of observing the information. How measured using the pencil and paper, test and work sample. For the example, the safe rules, electrical principles, and step in appraisal interview. Next, skill-based outcomes. It will measure the behavior and skills, How measured using observation, work sample, and ratings. For example, jigsaw use, listening skills, coaching skills, and airplane landings. Next is effective outcomes. It will measure the motivation, reaction to program, and attitudes. How measured using interview, focus groups, and attitude survey. So, for example, satisfaction with training, beliefs regarding other cultures. For a result, it will measure the company payoff to measure it by observation and data from information system or performance records. For example, absenteeism, accidents, and patents. And last is return on investment. It will measure the economic value of training and to measure it using identification and comparison of costs and benefits of the program, for example, dollars. So to measure the learning outcomes which is best is depending on the training objectives. So in table 7.8, a number of different evaluation designs can be applied to training programs. In general, design that use pre-training and post-training measures of outcome and include a comparison group reduce the risk that factors other than training itself are responsible for evaluation results. So, meaning evaluation design is a structure created to produce an unbiased appraisal of program's benefits. The decision for an evaluation design depends on the evaluation question and the standards of effectiveness, but also on the resources available and on the degree of precision needed. So, comparison of evaluation design for post-test only. The groups is trainees, pre-training, no, post-training, yes, cost, slow, time, low, strength, low. For the pre-test with post-test, the groups is trainees, then pre-training is yes, post-training, yes, cost, slow, time, low, strength, medium. Post-test only with comparison group, the groups are trainees and comparison. Pre-training is no. Post-training, yes. Cost is medium. Time, medium. Strength, medium. Pre-test with post-test with comparison group. The groups are trainees and comparison. The pre-training, yes. Post-training, yes. Cost is medium. Time, medium. Strength, high. The time series, the groups is trainees. Then pre-training, yes. Post-training, yes, or several. Cost is medium. Time, medium. Strength, medium. So many companies are interested in determining the financial benefits of learning, including training courses and programs and development activities. One way to do this is by determining return on investment or ROI. So, on investments refers the estimated dollar return from each dollar invested in learning, meaning a performance measure used to evaluate the efficiency of an investment or compare the efficiency of a number of different investments. So, to make an ROI analysis, follow these steps. So, first is identify outcomes. Example given, quality accidents. And second, place a value on the outcomes. The third is determine the change in performance after eliminating other potential influences on training results. Number 4, obtain an annual amount of benefits, operational results from training by comparing result after training to result before training in dollars. The fifth one is to determine the training cost, direct cost plus indirect cost plus development cost plus overhead cost, compensation for trainees. Then number 6, calculate the total savings by subtracting the training costs from benefits, operational results. Number 7, calculate the ROI by dividing benefits, operational result by cost. The ROI gives an estimate of the dollar return expected from each dollar investment in training. So let's proceed to topic 3, special training issues. Dealing with several special training issues are essential to meet the competitive challenge for sustainability, globalization, and technologies. It includes preparing employees to work in different cultures abroad as culture vary depending on places. And also, it includes managing workforce diversity, socializing, and orienting new employees. Next is cross-cultural preparation. Companies are expanding globally and cultures vary in different places. Employees often work outside their country and get to work with or to someone from another country. By this, they should be aware of each other culture to avoid the unintentional disrespect, rudeness of one another. Next is stepping cross-cultural preparation. The first is the expatriate should be competent in their areas of expertise. For example, if your expertise is selling, then you should be competent enough to persuade him or her on what you are talking about. Your expertise should be seen and felt without telling them directly. Second, there are two ways to communicate, verbal and nonverbal. It is a must that you can do both to avoid misinterpretation. Additionally, if you know how to communicate in a nonverbal manner, this will be an advantage for you, as you might be able to know if the listener or the people you are talking to is appreciating what you are telling them or you need to change the subject. This helps you know your audience much easier. And the third one is cultures vary from different places, and this is one of the most challenging because it is a sensitive issue. Therefore, an expatriate must be flexible, tolerant of ambiguity, and sensitive to culture differences. The fourth one is also important that you are motivated to succeed. You take the problem as challenge that you need to pass through to able to achieve your goal. And the last one is supported by their families. Lack of support from other people, especially from your family or loved ones, cause anxiety. It might also change how you see yourself. Your motivation will vanish and unstable emotion will take place because of the lack of support. Next is pre-departure phase. Before departure, employees need to undergo language training and an orientation to the country's cultures and customs. This is not exclusively for employees but also for their families because they will also reside in the same area as the expatriate. They need information about housing, schools, recreation, shopping, and health care facilities in the area where they will live. Next is cross-cultural training. Methods include presentation techniques such as lectures that expatriates and their families attend on the custom and culture of the host country. Immersion, experience, or actual experience in the home country in culturally diverse communities, meaning procedures or practice used to increase an individual's ability to cope with the cross-cultural and perform well in a new cultural environment. Next is on-site base. So, on-site training involves continued orientation to the host country and its custom and cultures through formal programs or through a mentoring relation. Expatriates should be encouraged to develop social relationships both inside and outside of the workplace. So, repatriation pays. So, repatriation prepares expatriates for return to the parent company and country from foreign assignments. Expatriates and their families are likely to experience high levels of stress and anxiety when they return because of the changes that have occurred since their departure. Next is managing workforce diversity and inclusion. Diversity can be considered any dimension that differentiates a person from another. In other words, diversity in the workplace ensures a variety of different perspectives since diversity in the workplace means that employees will have different characteristics and backgrounds. They are also more likely to have a variety of different skills and experience. So I will not able to read the table 7.9, the key components of effective management diversity programs to maximize our time. Then inclusion refers to creating an environment in which employees share a sense of belonging, mutual respect, and commitment from others. Inclusion allows companies to capitalize not only the diversity of their employees, but also on their customers, suppliers, and community partners. Inclusion meaning the achievement of a work environment in which all individuals are treated fairly and respectfully, have equal access to opportunities and resources, and can be contribute fully to the organization. So, diversity training refers to learning efforts that are designed to change employee attitudes about diversity and or develop skills needed to work with a diverse workforce. So, in any program designed to facilitate positive intergroup interaction, reduce prejudice and discrimination, and generally teach individuals who are different from others how to work together effectively. So, managing diversity and inclusion involves creating an environment that allows all employees to contribute to organizational goals and experience personal growth. This environment includes access to jobs as well as fair and positive treatment of all employees. So, meaning connect with your employees. Everyone is driven differently, which is why you must recognize that how you mentor and communicate with one another may not be same way you do with others. So let's proceed to topic 4, onboarding or socialization. It refers to the process of helping new hires adjust to social and performance aspect of their new jobs. The importance of it is to help the employees for adjusting to their jobs and establishing the relationship to increase satisfaction, clarifying goals and expectations to improve performance, and providing feedback, coaching, and follow-up activities to reduce turnover. So the first step in onboarding, first is compliance. Understand the company policies, rules, and regulation. Like in the classroom, we need to follow the rules and regulation. Next is clarification. Understand job and performance expectation. So performance expectations are requirements of an employee, including expected result, behavior, and action. Next, culture. So, understand company history, traditions, values, norms, and mission. So, meaning it can be defined as a set of shared values, goals, attitudes, and practices that characterize an organization. It is the way people feel about the work they do, the values they believe in, where they see the company going, and what they are doing to get it there. Then connection, understand and develop working and interpersonal relations. So people with strong interpersonal skills tend to be able to work well with other people, including in teams or groups. Formally and informally, they communicate effectively with others, whether family, friends, customers, or clients. They also have better relationships at home and at work. So, effective onboarding does include understanding funding tasks such as completing tax forms and knowing how to complete timesheets or travel reimbursement forms. So, Table 7.10 shows the characteristics of effective onboarding programs. Effective onboarding programs actively involve the new employee. Table 7.10 includes employees are encouraged to ask questions. Program includes information on both technical and social aspect of the job. The employee manager has some onboarding responsibility. Debasing or embarrassing new employees is avoided. Employees learn about the company culture, history, language, products, services, and customers. Then follow up employee progress occurs at different points up to 1 year after joining the company. Program involves participation, active involvement, and formal and informal interaction between new hires and current employees. Then relocation assistance is provided such as housing, hunting, or information session on the community for employees and their significant others. And that's all. Thank you.